There are days when you wake up already tired, not the kind of tired sleep can fix, but the kind that sits deeper in your chest. You go through the motions, you answer messages, you show up, and yet something inside you feels cracked. Maybe life didn't just disappoint you. Maybe it broke you. Broke the version of you that believed effort always pays off. The version that trusted people would stay. The version that thought doing the right thing would protect you from pain. And now, you're standing in the aftermath, quietly asking questions you don't say out loud. Why did this happen to me? Why do I feel so far from who I used to be? Why does everything I built feel like it collapsed at once? You don't talk about it much because explaining takes energy you don't have. Because everyone else seems to be moving forward while you're stuck picking up invisible pieces. But here's the truth most people never tell you. Sometimes life doesn't fall apart by accident. Sometimes it breaks the parts that were never meant to last. The plans that weren't truly yours, the expectations that slowly suffocated you, the version of strength that required you to pretend you were okay. This pain you're carrying, it doesn't mean you failed. It means something false was holding your life together. It finally gave way. And right now, even if you can't see it yet, you are standing at the beginning of something honest. Not easy, not pretty, but real. You're not weak for feeling this way. You're human. When life falls apart, people don't usually lose motivation overnight. They lose it slowly, quietly, one disappointment at a time. It starts when effort stops, leading to results. You try, you give, you push forward, and still, things don't work out. So your brain does something protective. It pulls back. This isn't laziness. It's self-defense. Psychologically, when someone experiences repeated setbacks, the mind begins to associate effort with pain. So instead of feeling inspired by possibility, you feel exhausted by hope itself. You've probably felt it in small, everyday moments. You sit down to work, but your body feels heavy. You think about the future, but your mind goes blank. Not because you don't care, but because caring started to hurt too much. Another reason motivation fades is identity collapse. For a long time, you knew who you were. You were the responsible one, the strong one, the one who held everything together. Then something changed. Maybe a loss, a failure, a betrayal, or simply time passing. And suddenly, that identity no longer fits. So now, you're not just tired, you're disoriented. You don't know who you are without the role you played, without the dream you chased, without the version of yourself that made sense of the world. And in that confusion, motivation doesn't disappear because you're broken. It disappears because your old reasons no longer work. The problem isn't that you've lost your drive. The problem is that life outgrew the reasons you were using to move forward. What once pushed you can no longer carry you, and that's painful, but it's also important, because it means something new is trying to emerge. When life breaks you, the instinct is to fix everything at once, to become stronger, better, more disciplined fast. But rebuilding what's real doesn't happen through pressure. It happens through permission. Permission to start smaller than you planned. Permission to move without clarity. Permission to stop proving your worth. Here's a new direction most people miss. You don't rebuild your life by chasing motivation. You rebuild it by creating truth. Truth sounds simple, but it's uncomfortable. It asks questions like, what am I doing out of fear? What am I holding on to because I'm afraid to let go? What part of my life looks good on the outside but feels empty on the inside? You don't need big answers. You need honest ones. From there, the steps become quieter but stronger. 1. Lower the bar for progress. Not your standards, your starting point. Getting out of bed is hard, that's the win. If sending one email drains you, that's still movement. 2. Replace intensity with consistency. You don't need dramatic breakthroughs. You need repeatable actions you can do on your worst days. 5 minutes of effort beats 1 hour of guilt. 3. Build a life that supports your nervous system, not just your goals. Sleep, silence, walking, breathing. These aren't luxuries, they're foundations. You can't think clearly while constantly in survival mode. And maybe the most important shift of all, stop asking, how do I get back to who I was? Ask, who am I becoming now that the illusion is gone? Because this version of you, tired, honest, stripped down, is closer to the truth than you've ever been. Nothing is wrong with the pace you're moving. You're not falling behind. You're rebuilding on real ground. There was a time when Maya believed her life was finally on track. She had followed the plan, studied hard, worked late, said yes when it was uncomfortable, stayed strong when it hurt. From the outside, it looked like progress. Then, within 1 year, everything unraveled. The job she poured herself into laid her off without warning. The relationship she thought was forever ended with a sentence she still hears in quiet moments. "I don't feel the same anymore." And the version of herself she relied on, the capable, optimistic one, just disappeared. Maya tried to fight it. She forced productivity. She smiled in conversations. She told herself other people have it worse. But at night, she stared at the ceiling, feeling hollow. Not sad enough to cry. Not hopeful enough to try. One morning, she didn't get up at all. Not out of drama, just exhaustion. She stayed there, listening to the city wake up without her. And for the first time, she admitted something quietly. "I don't know how to keep pretending." That moment didn't fix her life, but it changed how she treated herself. She stopped trying to impress a future version of herself. She focused on today, a walk around the block, a simple meal, one honest conversation instead of 10 polite ones. Weeks passed, and months. Nothing dramatic happened, but something real did. She noticed she laughed more easily without forcing it. She began choosing work that didn't drain her identity. She let go of people who only loved the version of her that performed well. Maya didn't rebuild the life she lost. She rebuilt the life that finally fit. And one day, while tying her shoes before a quiet morning walk, she realized something that surprised her. She wasn't healed, but she was whole. Because life didn't break her to punish her, it broke her to remove what wasn't true, and what remained was enough to begin again. If life has broken you, this is not the end of your story. It's the end of the part where you were carrying things that were never meant to be permanent. You didn't lose everything. You lost what couldn't stay. And yes, what's left may feel unfamiliar, quieter, less impressive to the world. But it's real. Real energy, real needs, real direction. You don't need to rush your healing. You don't need to prove resilience. You don't need to become stronger than this moment. You only need to stay with the discomfort long enough to hear what it's teaching you. Stay honest when it would be easier to perform. Stay patient while something truer takes shape. Because the most powerful rebuilds don't look like comebacks. They look like clarity. They look like peace replacing pressure. They look like choosing alignment over applause. And one day, you'll realize this breaking point wasn't the moment you lost yourself. It was the moment you finally stopped living someone else's life. If this spoke to you, don't scroll past it. Save it for the days you forget how far you've come. Share it with someone who's quietly rebuilding in the dark. Sometimes life breaks you, only to rebuild what was real all along.